President Washington versus the Freedom Constitution. Let's talk tariffs. Remember, the Continental Congress had no longer existed after the United States Constitution was signed. It was now the United States Congress, which represented the House of Representatives and the United States Senate. The second official act of the United States Congress was to create tariffs. They had just come out of a Revolutionary War that began because of taxes, and their second official act was to create taxes. There were several purposes for this, but the main purpose, in my opinion, was because President Washington wanted to legitimize the United States as a country, as an independent country, and create diplomatic ties with other countries, specifically with France. And we know that because he sent a message to the Senate about his meeting with France, or rather his representatives' meetings. I believe it was Mr. J's meetings with France. And this wasn't just a couple simple tariffs. They were tariffing over 100 different products or categories of products. And remember, at this point in time, they officially didn't have an army. They officially didn't have a navy. They officially didn't have any diplomatic services. They officially didn't have courts. They officially didn't have judges. There was no Bill of Rights. There was no way to determine who was a citizen and who wasn't a citizen, or how to become a citizen. For George Washington, it was simply ensure all politicians swear an oath of office and then implement tariffs. How do tariffs stack up against the Freedom Constitution? Well, Article 11 in the Freedom Constitution specifically talks about how the United States government, state governments, and local governments may collect revenue from both citizens and non-citizens. Specifically, Section 13. So let me read you portions of Section 13. 13A. No local government may mandate the collection of any revenue type. So right there, unless you're a state or federal government entity, you cannot collect any revenue from any citizens or non-citizens. No state may collect revenue from any citizen that is greater than 18% of the citizen's gross income, or any non-citizen that is greater than 23% of the non-citizen's gross income. So we have very clear income tax caps for states at 18% if you're a citizen and 23% if you're a non-citizen. The federal government may not collect revenue from citizens that is greater than 12% of the citizen's gross income, or any non-citizen that is greater than 17% of the non-citizen's gross income. So we have clear income caps for taxes for the federal government. And then right at the top of Section 13, it states, all taxes, duties, or other sources of financial burden placed upon citizens, non-citizens, and business entities shall not be created unless such burdens do not violate the following permissions and prohibitions. So if we combined state income tax caps with federal income tax caps, citizens have a tax cap of 30% for their income, and non-citizens have a tax cap of 40% for their income. Tariffs create a financial burden on citizens and non-citizens, so they are considered taxes. And when you think about things like gas tax, income tax, real estate tax, excise tax, government licenses like driver's license, fishing license, hunting license, the FICA you pay, the Social Security you pay, the government fees you receive for telecommunications and service fees. If you add up all the government taxes, fees, and burdens you pay, parking tickets, speeding tickets for those of you who get those. If you add up all of that and calculate what percentage of your income that is, this new Freedom Constitution would be a huge savings on your wallet. While George Washington came out of a revolution that was born from overtaxation just to create more taxes, the Freedom Constitution relieves taxation and makes it more transparent and easier for you to understand and pay, while leaving more in your pocket. Because the more money in your pocket means more safety, more financial safety for you and your family, and that's what the Freedom Founders is all about. Safety without oppression by the Freedom Founders. Instead of letting politicians overtax you, it should be in the Constitution what the tax limits are and how they have to be transparent and manageable. Thank you for watching. There's a hat like this at the link below. Go ahead and pick one up if you support freedom. I hope to see you in the next video.